For years in this league, you used to hear about Kyle Lowry being a problem player, argumentative, inconsistent. When he played in Memphis, they gave him the, quote, bad influence tag, a reputation that followed him to Houston, where he clashed with coach Kevin McHale. And things didn't start off much better in Toronto. Lowry was upset with the initial role the Raptors gave him, and even once he emerged as a key starter, he was still often thought of as a guy who couldn't quite handle playoff pressure. Oh, how times have changed. Cut to last night when Lowry led the Raptors to one of the most thrilling, exhausting, electrifying playoff wins in recent memory. A double overtime, 58-minute extravaganza, complete with scuffles, officiating controversies, and in Lowry's case, 3 stitches in his chin. There were 10 lead changes in this game, but honestly, that doesn't even tell the story of what a roller coaster it was as both teams alternated between looking exhausted and unbending. And there was just a lot of weirdness, too. There was that box and one Toronto used on Kemba Walker in the first half. There was the single possession in the third quarter where the Raptors scored 6 points, thanks to a flagrant on Marcus Smart. There was the play late in the fourth, where Jason Tatum turned the ball over on a pass so wild it appeared he may have mistaken Raptors coach Nick Nurse for one of his teammates. Nurse was certainly out of the coach's box at the time, his feet actually inching inbounds in the corner of the court, which the Celtics did not appreciate. As Jaylen Brown put it later, quote, grown men, he said, should be able to control themselves, especially coaching staffs, unquote. Okay, then. Of course, by the second overtime, that whole moment seemed to be light years away. Instead, the story was Norm Powell, who scored 10 points in just that frame alone, then added a key steal on Tatum. It was Fred VanVleet, who'd had a streaky shooting night but delivered when it mattered late. And it was Lowry, always Lowry, who threw himself into this game like he was throwing himself in front of a train. At age 34, Kyle played 53 minutes, scoring 33 points. He was 6 of 10 from three-point range, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, just 1 turnover. And of course, the game's dagger shot. A tornado turn of a mid-range jumper over Kemba Walker with 11 seconds on the clock. Lowry's peers went crazy on social media after that one. Joel Embiid with, Kyle Lowry is not appreciated as he should be. Winner. JJ Redick chiming in on that one. We had Kevin Love. Goran Dragic with the Bad Boys Martin Lawrence reference. It's funny, we wondered before we got to the bubble if teams that fell behind in playoff series would just pack it in. After all, no one could blame these guys if at some point they just wanted to go home, especially the Raptors, who because of the closed Canadian border have actually been away from their families 2 weeks longer than any other team. But that was not taking into account that the Raptors are led by Kyle Lowry, who over the years learned how to channel his stubbornness, stop getting in his own way, and instead just get in everyone else's. These days, Kyle Lowry is as far as you get from being a problem player. He's just an absolute goddamn problem. And the Raptors have life because of it.
Yes.
All right, so Paul, I have to ask, you were very confident in your Celtics going into the series, into last night's game. Now how confident are you about your Boston Celtics, Mr. Name in the Raptor in the Boston Garden in Game 7?
I'm confident, but I'm not, like, heavily confident because the Raptors are defending champs. And you can never underestimate the heart of a champion. And Lowry, he was unbelievable last night. My hat goes off to him. I thought the Celtics, I felt like they've been in control of this series, but then just somehow the Raptors just kind of snatch a game away from here, snatch a game away there, and then, Lowry, he smells blood in the water, and he goes out there and has one of his best games I've ever seen him play. And so, but I think the Celtics are more talented. Kemba Walker's not going to have this bad of a game 2 nights in a row, and I believe the Celtics will move on.
Look, my thing is this. If you're the Boston Celtics, you have to get dirty. You have to start grinding these games out. That's what the Toronto Raptors did better than anybody else last year and this year. They would just keep grinding, and they were led by Kyle Lowry and the perfect grinder in Kawhi Leonard. Now he's gone. And look, the Celtics, all they have to do is outwork him. And it's not just Marcus Smart. It's not just Daniel Tice. It's that entire roster has to go out and outwork the Toronto Raptors. And that's one of the harder things to do, is to outwork that team team who prides themselves on their work ethic and are led by one of the hardest workers in the league.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the momentum swings in this series have been crazy. Obviously, that one OG Anunoby shot completely changed everything. This would be a totally different series, would probably be over by now. But it's Game 7, guys. I mean, it's anyone's guess. Both these teams do have playoff experience. But is there anything, Paul, you would tell the guys in that Boston locker room? Some of them are younger. They did go to a Game 7 in the Eastern Conference Finals against LeBron a couple years ago. But what advice would you give your former team?
You know, I would just say, listen, they've been in this situation before. Like you said, they've been in a Game 7 against LeBron. LeBron is not going to be out there tomorrow. And so use that experience that they have in the past to get back where they've been, and that's the conference finals. They know that they're the better team. I believe they believe they're the better team. And so they got to go out there and show it, because Toronto, you got to know they're the champs. They're not going to lay down for you. So let's go out here and you got to take it. They're not going to give it to you. You got to take it.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.